Hello, how are you? Long time no see. If you're returning, you know me. I'm Macon. It's my channel, Making, and it's been quite a hiatus since I last posted. If you're new, this is the first time watching, welcome. I've been a little absent. This year has been quite the ride. It is now the 1st of September. I started this channel in, I guess, January. All excited. I was gonna have a fresh start, new year, make some art, do some creative things after a few years of having a tough time. And then, of course, because I thought things were getting better, they decided to get worse. So I've had quite the year so far, but I can happily report things are turning around, like really turning around. And I'm off work this week between starting a new job, and I'm very excited about that, but I'm having a bit of a reset week. So starting over, getting my life together, starting over, trying to film content for this channel, doing some creative things, knitting, art, whatever, things that make me happy, cooking, baking, all that. And to start with, it's 9 in the morning. I'm not really a morning person naturally. It's kind of nice to get things going, but I had to take my husband to the train station this morning just before 7, so instead of coming back and getting right back into bed, I went to the neighboring town, Kilmarnock. I live in Ayrshire in Scotland, by the way, and so I went over and went to the Good Butcher's because we have been thinking about Scottish slice, which is a sliced sausage, having that for morning rolls. And since I'm off all week, I'm gonna have nice breakfasts all week. So went to the butcher's, got that. Also went and did a big grocery shop, get things out of the way, so that's done. Yeah, so I'm gonna unpack that and get my life together. Need to do some laundry. I have a big mending pile of things that need to be fixed that have been ignored for far too long, and I'll do some creative stuff. So yeah, this video, I don't know, maybe a couple days this week, the whole week, I don't know, I'll just take you along with me and we'll see what happens and record as I get my life together starting over. So wish me luck. Coffee needed. Ugh. Got some fresh rolls from the bakers from Brownings in Kilmarnock. So can't have breakfast rolls without rolls. I also got some cakes. They had some strawberry slice. So, cake. Can't have rolls without tatty scones, so tatty scones. And the guest of the hour, a big old block of sliced sausage. Whee! I don't know why I'm jiggling sliced sausage. Yeah, okay, that's unhinged, but here we are. I'm talking to a camera by myself in my kitchen, so, you know, hey ho. Not gonna eat this all this week. I will freeze part of this, but we'll make a good dent in it. But yeah, this is my favorite butcher's right now at the moment, so yeah, slice of sausage. I think I'm also gonna take a picture to send to my husband to be like, look at all this sausage. one because it's a little lopsided. Of course I measured everything a couple of times, but still just a little off. And then I hung up our space Shiba on the wall. So looking forward to seeing these things up. And then I've got some more art to hang up in here. So I've been thinking about this arrangement for a while, just behind above our sofa. Some pictures that we have from collecting over the years. Some old vintage postcards from the Isle of Arran. Some illustrations by a local artist. Another watercolor of the harbor nearby. Another watercolor print from another artist. And a really cool print of the Lewis Chessman. And then a map of the Ayrshire coast, which is where we live. So I think making a gallery wall will be nice above the sofa. Kind of mimics a bigger gallery wall that we had in one of our old flats, but on a little bit smaller scale. And it'll go next to our bookcase over here with all of our Scottish vintage books on it and my little wee bothy cottages. Good morning, hello. Another day from my slow week. It's Wednesday. I'm just taking it easy. I was trying to remember what I did yesterday, and I actually was kind of struggling, but I did some tidying up, did some knitting, hung about, lots of laundry because it was actually sunny yesterday, and the weather forecast is looking pretty grim for the next few days, so had to get my laundry out while I could. I did decorate for a little bit of Halloween autumnal vibe, so I've got some of my pumpkin things up, and yeah, just getting my toes wet and that. I had to wait till September 1st for that. You know, we don't have a very long summer here in Scotland, so had to get through August and enjoy what little bit of summer we still had left. Now I think we're really fully going into autumn now with the weather turning and more rain, and it's a bit gloomy, so all the lights are on in the house, but not the big light. I don't know if you know about the big light, but we don't turn on the big light, so we've got lots of little lamps so that we can create a little bit of ambiance and atmosphere, which is just nice and cozy. So that's what we're about. Plans today, I'm gonna knit, need to wash some dishes this morning. I'm gonna put a pork shoulder in the slow cooker for dinner tonight, so I do need to go out and get some veggies. I think I'm gonna make an apple slaw to have on the pork, do little like pork sandwiches. Yeah, and I've got a big mending pile I need to start working through, so probably do that too. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Time to wash some dishes. Alright, so the seasoning I'm using for the pork is some crazy salt, Jane's crazy mixed up salt. Can't actually get this in the UK, but I had a friend bring it over from the US recently on a trip, so happy days. This is what my mom used to use for everything, genuinely. So I think it's made in New Jersey, but you could probably find it pretty much everywhere. I always found it at Kroger on the bottom shelf of the spice section, and I hear that's good intel, so I think if you have Kroger, you might be able to find some. Garlic granules, garlic powder, because there's never enough garlic. And then I'm using this, so this is from the Peg Leg Porker in Nashville. It's a chicken barbecue seasoning, but it's got paprika in it and some other things like garlic and onion, and a little bit of salt too. So I'm gonna go kind of light on the salt for everything else, but I'm gonna put all that on my pork shoulder in the slow cooker, and then I'm gonna use Dr. Pepper, which hopefully there's enough. It looks like my husband cracked into this already, but just kind of trying to cover up the pork. It's gonna slow cook for about 10 hours, so be all right. We'll see. But it really breaks it down and is a really nice, lovely flavor. So I can shred up this pork shoulder and we'll have it for tonight. We're gonna have little like sandwiches, and then sometimes I put it in ramen, sometimes I'll make like enchiladas or tacos or something with that pork, and just having that base pork and then adding some other kind of flavor, seasoning, whatever, mix it up, and then have some cooked it once, and then I have a bunch of meals from it. So that helps me because I love to cook, but I am tired all the time. So this is my little hack for that. So love a slow cooker. Yeah, so that's what that's gonna be. Yeah. Hello. So I have been kind of leisurely today so far. Put on some TV and just been kind of doom scrolling, which is something I try not to do, but I can't help myself. So turn my phone into a recording, and so then I can't scroll. That's maybe my tactic these days. We'll see how that works. I am going to do some knitting for a little bit. I started this, gosh, like 2 years ago, maybe longer, I don't know. I'm making a pattern from Elizabeth Zimmerman. It's from the Schoolhouse Press. I've had this for a really long time. I first saw this pattern get made when I lived in Alaska in like the early 2000s. And so it's this really great pattern that gets knit in one piece, kind of like a origami almost, like where it just gets folded up into itself and becomes a little jacket. So like that. There's another picture of it. But yeah, so I started working on this a while ago. It was longer. I just ripped it out the other night because I was having trouble figuring out where I left off in the pattern. I did one of those numbers where I marked on the patterns what rows I did, and then I stopped for some reason, inexplicably, and then I couldn't figure out where I was. And so since I wasn't trusting that I had done all of the increases and decreases correctly, I just ripped the whole thing out. So it does knit up really fast because it starts out with about, let's see, 160 stitches, and then it decreases, and then it increases and decreases. And it's just knitting, so just stockinette, right? Is that stockinette? No, not stockinette. Oh, I can't remember what that's called. Well, it's just knitting, so I'm not doing any purling. So just back and forth, so it creates those ridges. Yeah, that's annoying. Why can't I remember what that's called? Anyway, it's not important. So I'm just starting this up again. It's this really nice, soft, sweet, like squishy yarn that I got a few years ago, and it does this like self-striping sort of thing where it's got that like variegated, but sometimes the way the colors pool, it has like kind of rows of color. It's a nice like pinks, purples, a little bit of white, some blue, quite lovely together, I think. And I was thinking of, at the time when I started it, I figured I had a bunch of friends that were trying to have babies, thinking about babies, all that sort of stuff. And so I wanted a knit that I could make that would actually get finished relatively fast. 2 years later, she says. But I also figured somebody was bound to have a daughter. So I went with like the pinks and purples. And luckily I know 2 people who've had little girls, so somebody is going to get this at some point if I ever finish it. So I'm gonna try to do that. And then I'll take a break from that. I need to run to the store and get a few things and come back. I kind of have a desire to make a cake. I had a cake recently that was supposed to be chocolate, and it was a nice cake, but it definitely tasted like the ghost of chocolate. Like someone had maybe put like the wrong measurement of cocoa powder in the frosting and in the cake sponge. So ever since then I've been like, I need a more chocolatey cake. So I'm gonna look in my cupboards and make sure I actually have some cocoa powder. Oh, and I need to take the butter out of the fridge so it can soften. That's what I'm gonna do now. And then I'm gonna go to the store and then come back and maybe do some mending. So I'll bring you along for that later. down by the salt pans. There they are. I would planned on staying home and doing some mundane and making a cake. But the weather is absolutely glorious, and I had to come outside. Just I had to. So I was running some errands in Prestwick today, and I went to some charity shops and the local veg grocer and picked up a few things, which I'll show you later. But there is an entire school group coming down the promenade, so I am going to put this away and get back to painting and maybe die of embarrassment. Who knows? Hello. Let's see how long I can talk to you before I lose my nerve. I've just been down to the Ooh. Lord, that's what I get for trying to talk in my car. Alright, hi, I didn't die. Let's try this again. So, I've just been painting, got my sketchbook out for the first time in a month, and, well, before that it was even longer. It's a beautiful day outside, so I wanted to spend some time enjoying the weather while it's not absolutely raining horrendously all winter. So, here we are. Yep, chickening out.
Riding waves, jumping out of airplanes, spinning down, erasing all your memories, lying on my shoulder, worried about your mother. Found your head rolling down the alley. Spent the day looking for your body. Remember how I met you, dancing to the music. Gray eyes, gray eyes, feeling blue. Sacrificed too many moments. Another grain of sand in the ocean. You decorate your door. You tell me that it's always open. Gone. I don't ask how and I don't ask why. Mining for jewels in the mountains, and no one in town wants to buy them. Time gets you thinking, thinking gets you crying.